I still got Minnesota coming out.
I thought you said the Mavs was going to the finals. How you got Minnesota coming out?
I said I got the Mavs going to the finals going into the playoffs, but going into the series, I got the Timberwolves winning. So I'm in a win-win situation, sir.
Yo, you can't do that.
I just did. I just did.
Jason Frank says, by my count, the Mavericks shot 14 of 16, 88% in the paint without Rudy Gobert on the court, and 17 of 31 with Rudy Gobert on the floor last night. Now, it gets a lot of we know that the Mavericks won. We'll get into that just a little bit, but Gobert, team best plus 10 last night and continues to have the best plus minus in the playoffs overall, if you care about that. Plus 27 or 22.7 this postseason. Timberwolves have a 16.2 net rating with him on the court and a minus 6.5 with him off the court. I think we were all there for the Timberwolves game, right? We were there yesterday, right?
Yep.
Yeah, me, all three of us right here. So we saw what happened in the game where Dallas won 108 to 105. Luka Doncic with an impressive 33, 8, 6, 3 steals. Kyrie with an impressive 30, 4 assists, 5 boards. They both shot phenomenally, but I actually think they played worse than the stat sheet shows. A guy on the other side, though, the fake future of the NBA, only had 19 points. Anthony Edwards,
bro. Not me.
19, 8, 11. What were y'all's observations? Because I'm about to go on the edge.
I think we underrated the Mavs, and not we, because I honestly had to make it to the finals. I did have the Mavs losing to the Timberwolves, but the idea that the Mavs were just gonna be a pushover in the series, nah, they're legit. They've been legit for a couple months now, and that team post trade deadline is completely different than the team we saw at the beginning of the season. Kyrie and Luka, fantastic duo. It does work. I don't give a fuck what y'all say. From Minnesota side, what I saw was the biggest question for them was how consistent can that offense be? I understand Jaden McDaniels has been on fire in these playoffs. I understand Cat has been really good in these playoffs, but Cat is still a guy that when he stinks it up, he stinks it up. And relying on Jaden McDaniels to be Klay Thompson out there, if that's the game plan, that's looking pretty scary. And Anthony Edwards is also liable to stinkers as well. Like, he's not uber consistent. He's been consistent in these playoffs, but games like last night, he is liable for here and there, and he's had 2 of them in back-to-back games. But I still got Minnesota coming out. Tough loss.
I thought you said the Mavs was going to the finals. How you got Minnesota coming out?
I said I got the Mavs going to the finals going into the playoffs. But going into the series, I got the Timberwolves winning. So I'm in a win-win situation, sir. Yeah.
You can't do that.
I just did. Yeah, I'm hedging.
Okay, Damo, what were your observations?
The series is going to go probably just how I thought it would go. 7-game series in favor of the Timberwolves. It was a fail-out game for the Timberwolves. The Mavs went in there, stole the game as they should do. It was a competitive team. Kyrie Irving, Luka, as so said, I'll retweet that. They definitely work very well together. I was wrong about this team at the start of the season. That trade at the deadline really did fix a lot of the issues that I did see. So shout out to them. And shout out to the role players. Role players doing their job makes Luka and Kyrie job a lot easier. Shout out Derrick Jones. Shout out PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford, who is showing just because niggas are playing on ass teams don't mean they're ass players. A lot of these teams are, in fact, ass. No one was thinking about PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford pre that trade for real, being pieces that can potentially be contending for a fucking championship. Like, no one had that for them. So the fact that the Mavs are able to do that, genuinely amazing.
Yeah, I will say that I want to retweet what Damo actually just said there. I'm out of the concept of overpaying for guys. There is somebody on an ass team that can contribute. There's good guys on every single team. They're in the wrong fit. They're in the wrong system. They're in the wrong environment or whatever, and you can get a lot out of them. When Daniel Gafford and PJ Washington got traded, as a Luka fan, I was like, yo, that's great. That's perfect. And I remember that because I came on the pod and I was like, this is the problem with all these other organizations, specifically the Hawks. Hawks sat on their hands, and I was like, these guys were available and these guys can make impact, and they surely did. Derrick Jones Jr. is looking great too, guarding Anthony Edwards, and the A and the B look unguardable. Luka and Kyrie look unguardable. They really don't have any answers. I actually would be very fearful to see Luka play well, because that would not fare well for a lot of these people. And I did want to point to this because I found this to be pretty hilarious. This is Kyrie Irving on Anthony Edwards' comments.
Sorry, my bad. Hey, Kyrie, you at home minding your business the other night.
Yeah, what about it?
You with your beautiful family just chilling, probably having a nice meal, and then the young fella says, I got Kyrie. So, and you said, excuse me?
Yeah.
And he said it again. He said, I got Kyrie.
Yep.
That's the most aggressive you've been in a long time.
Yes, sir.
I know that had to irk you a little bit.
Used it as a motivation. When I was sitting at home and I saw it, I was like, it's just a nod of respect. And then also, I knew what type of game it was going to be for game one and also for the rest of the series. So you're right. I was at home with my family watching Game 7.
You just minded your own business.
And then Ant comes out and says, I got Kyrie, but also that's a no fear mentality, and that's why we love Ant. So coming out tonight, I knew that he was going to pressure me a little bit. But I knew that they were coming off a Game 7, grueling game. So their legs were biting them a little bit tonight. So hopefully Game 2, they come back and, they settle a little bit more, but we'll be prepared.
Sorry, my.
Yeah. As great of a defensive team as they are, I don't think Minnesota has an answer for this. I hated the excuse that Anthony Edwards had at the end of the game.
I don't know. Tired?
Yeah. I want to play that. I wasn't very much a fan of comment.
And you talked today about just adjusting to a different team. Then Dallas plays so differently. Do you think it just takes a game to kind of figure out a little bit different approach? And how do you figure you kind of bounce back from this one?
I don't know. I think we just came out flat today. And then we found our energy, then we went back to being flat. So I think it was just on us. Everything was on us today. I didn't get downhill as much. Just stuff like that. We was just a little tired probably.
And it took an insane amount of threes and no twos. I didn't like that response.
I mean, if they were tired, he might be just saying how it is.
I don't like the I'm tired. Sorry.
Why? Why don't you like it though?
Why are you letting people know that you're tired? Why are you? Mind you could say it's on us for other reasons, but I don't know. I be looking at everything as like a little weakness. Oh, okay. You tired? Oh, okay. If you decided to come out and admit that, you weak. That's just me. I could be wrong. I could be reaching.
The NBA playoffs are here, man. There's a lot of money to be made if you play daily fantasy sports. And if you want to get into the action, you guys can use PrizePicks, the sponsor of this podcast, our preferable way to play daily fantasy sports. We will show you how to play the game right now, and it is very, very simple. Just sign up for an account, download their app, go on their website, and make some picks. And if you really know ball, you can win some money. I'm going to go ahead and look down here. Kevin Durant, 36.5 points plus rebounds plus assists versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. I'm sensing a big game from KD tonight, man. Hit more for me, please. And then Darius Garland has been letting me down all year, and it's just another day of the year. Hit less for me on the PRA as well for Darius Garland. Omar, you decide how much we put on the entry.
You got to risk it to get the biscuit. I'm going to put 210 on there. Make place entry.
And if you use code LKIB, PrizePicks will match 100% of your first deposit up to $100. Shout out to PrizePicks for sponsoring this video. Now let's get right back to the content.
Didn't Ant say something last round about the Nuggets? And Draymond was like, yeah, they look like it's that little glimpse into their armor that Denver should take into Game 6, and then
tired. Ant Cat is already soft. I don't see this going more than 5 games, to be honest with you.
Oh wow. Yeah. What'd you have it going into the series?
I probably had it going 6-7. But I really thought Jaden McDaniels could have did a better job on Luka, or would have did a better job on Luka.
6-7 in Dallas's favor?
Yeah.
Okay.
But a 3-point win in the fashion they had it changed your mind to 4-5?
I don't necessarily think that Luka played the best. I don't think that Luka played the best that he could. Now, I'll say this. I'm factoring in quote unquote 2 cold nights from either star or 2 cold nights from both. If they're both cold, the shots aren't hitting, that's the game that they lose. But I think even in the case that only one of them is cold and the other one is hitting, I think that they still can pull it out. That 3-point loss. I just don't see Minnesota's offense getting like insanely better than what it was last night.
I actually disagree. I think Cat going 6 of 20 is not going to be the normal. That was a really big part as to why they suck. And maybe in hindsight, putting trust in Karl Anthony Towns is going to bite me in the ass, but I don't think she's 6 of 20 bad. And I don't think Ant is 6 of 19 bad.
That's what I was going to say. I don't think Ant is 6 of 19 bad. I think Ant will play better. Karl Anthony Towns going 6 for 20, shooting that many threes and stuff. Yeah, I see that happening for majority of the series. I think what's his name is going to play better though. I do think Ant is going to play better. Hey, we'll see.
We'll see.
We shall.
That's the best part of the playoffs. We will see. It's prove it time now. So
I will say this though: is that not the real face of the league right there? The numbers on Luka Doncic, and we'll probably get into them a little bit later on, but the stats on him are just insane. His first few years in the NBA, rookie first team, rookie of the year, and then all NBA first team every single year afterwards. Why is he not more seriously in the conversation for face of the league than what he is?
I think he is seriously in the conversation. Anybody that holds him back would just say because he's a foreigner. But anybody that removes that barrier, that bias of, I don't believe a foreign guy could be the face of the NBA, everyone will believe that Luka is in line to be after you say a Jokic or a Giannis, Embiid, Luka is in the conversation. Like, he genuinely is.
Do you think the face in the league conversation isn't even like something the NBA decides? It's just like what the people decide type shit? I feel like it's one of those things. And I feel like honestly, so far, the people have chosen Ant to be more of a face of the league than Luka.
I don't think it's the people decide thing. I think it's whatever's generating money and views for the NBA and whatever is deemed must-see TV. I don't think it's people just saying, "Oh, nah, Ant's the face of the league. Okay, buy Ant shoes. Show out for Ant." Shit like that. When that starts happening, the NBA will push you like you're that player. But the league waits for revenue. The league didn't start pushing Steph until Steph forced them to. LeBron was put in that situation. Oh, damn. Reese is down. Bron was put into that limelight before he was in the league. But anybody who naturally gets it, you got to earn it before the league gives it to you, for
real. I just feel like it was always there. Hawks are going to regret that. Last thing, quickly on that series, only because this news came out and only because we're seeing how good Kyrie has been playing. This is from Evan. All indications are Jalen Brunson is ready to sign a 4-year, $156 million extension with the Knicks this offseason. In total, it will become 5-year, $181 million restructured deal for Brunson, a potentially massive steal for New York instead of him waiting until 2025 for more money, because apparently, with the new NBC stuff, and we haven't talked about that, but there's going to be some more money. They have Kyrie now. Is this a big mistake? How do y'all feel about this? I've cited this as like the Mavericks. I don't know too much Mavericks history, but this seems like the biggest mistake in my lifetime that the Mavs have pulled off.
Letting go of Jalen Brunson?
Yeah.
If they win a championship this year, it's not a mistake.
It doesn't matter?
No, it doesn't matter. Same thing with Lakers trading for AD. It doesn't really matter if the last 4 years have panned out the way that it has. Doesn't matter what Brandon Ingram becomes. They wanted to build a championship team around LeBron James. Pair him up with AD. They got that shit done. No regrets. And if the Mavs get it done with Kyrie, no regrets.
Even if it means the future is compromised?
Yeah. I mean, that's what you do. That's what a lot of teams do. You compromise the future for the now, and if you're doing that and it works out for the now, then you did your job. So
especially, yeah. I would say to add on to that, especially when your guy is a Luka, and now if Luka decides to leave next year and the year after, maybe I'm more on your side on more. But as long as Luka's staying there the entire time too in the future, like Luka is your future. That's your franchise guy. And if anyone would know that, a Mavericks would know that. for having Dirk for so long because they weren't the most they weren't successful team wise. They were able to build what they've built and be a successful brand because they had a fucking all-time player on their team. So they have that in Luka. You let a guy like Brunson go. Now I do agree it was a mistake, but the biggest mistake, nah, and I don't think they regret it. I would say it's kudos to New York, but
I'll say Mark Cuban has noted that he regrets it, but I understand what you're saying. I do understand what you're saying. I'm not going to act like I don't. Only thing I will point out, Kyrie 32. In 5 years, he'll be 37. Jalen Brunson is 27. In 5 years, he'll be, I don't even know how old I'll be. We have like a similar birthday. But just seeing that, people need a mate. Luka needs a backcourt mate. And over the next 5 years, I probably would be more inclined to say that Jalen Brunson will age better than Kyrie Irving. But I can dig where y'all are coming from.
You don't think Kyrie fits better because he's better off ball than Jalen Brunson?
I don't know. I can't say. I seen one series. I mean, we've seen the Western Conference Finals run, and they both played together very, very well. Now the offense was a little bit different back then, but I don't think that he wouldn't have been able to work off ball.
I just don't think Jalen Brunson develops into the player that he is right now if he was in Dallas. I think a big part of why, I understand in Dallas he would have got the ball a lot, but to this degree, no. It still would have been Luka-centric.
He still what he averaged that Western Conference Finals run, Jalen Brunson back in whatever year. What year did the Warriors beat y'all, Bezos?
Oh wow, 22.
In 22, Kyrie is averaging right now, and I know everything isn't 1-to-1, but I think it wouldn't be too far off.
I feel it. I'm not gonna say it wouldn't have worked out with JB. I just don't think they made a mistake with how things are working out with Kyrie. That's all.
Fair enough.